The dawn of civilization. Primitive. Dangerous. Exciting. The handwriting is on the wall. If the human race is ever going to amount to anything, it needs
the most civilized caveman I have ever seen.
Look who's come out of his cave.
Hey everyone, this is James from Cave Dweller Music. I am here with my co-host Brendan. Today we are joined by a special guest. We have Peter, who runs Yuggoth Records. It's a mixed format record label that does tapes, also digital stuff, and they have a ton of cool stuff from both the dungeon synth world and from the black metal world. Thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
We do vinyl too. You didn't mention that, but
there you go.
And
okay,
also CDs too.
There you go. That's why I was should have asked you.
No, that's fine.
Do you want to tell people a little bit about the label then? What you do, what your sort of ethos is, and how long you've been around?
Yeah, the label started in 1998, and it started basically with me just releasing my own stuff. More of just a way to keep me releasing new music. But then it kind of organically grew from that, and I started adding other like-minded artists. So, but the focus has always been kind of on the avant-garde end of the spectrum. So a lot of, electronic, a lot of experimental, there's some experimental jazz on there. I also compose classical. So I write a lot of new music, like new classical. So there's a lot of that, and a lot of metal too. So it's really eclectic, which is what I like about it. But I would say what ties everything together is the avant-garde nature, and it's very pure. So everything I put out is something that is kind of curated by me. So it's a lot of friends that I work with. And so it's really become like a family, really, which is really great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you want.
Totally. So, it's not about, obviously it's not commercial at all. So, it's totally about free expression and it's just like free to do whatever, really. But I would say like a lot of the influences like on the horror spectrum. So there's a lot of like Lovecraft, like cosmic horror type stuff. And there's definitely that element to most of it. So fantasy or horror. So, it's a lot of that. So I would say that's kind of maybe the thread that runs through it.
Very cool. If you look at your Bandcamp and just kind of scroll down, you can really tell.
Yeah.
You definitely have some amazing album art that you've managed to put together with those albums.
Oh, great. Yeah. We spend a lot of like time and we invest a lot into artists, and because I think that's important, especially when we do vinyl. I want it to be like really good art, and that it catches people's eye too. I think it's important. When I first started with the label, I was just doing like photographs and sort of, but I really am happy to have brought in such great artists, like visual artists too, into the label. And we have Josh Yell too, that does all the calligraphy for a lot of the stuff. So a lot of that's like all the Arcanist stuff. It's all like hand drawn.
Wow.
So yeah,
Very
there's
cool.
no like fonts or anything like that. So it's like, yeah, it's really, we like, I like to keep it sort of organic like that,
The style, like that kind of the art style, looking at like is it Hyperborea?
Yeah.
I don't know what about it, but something like comes to mind of like Candlemass. I don't know. It's like the art style. I'm just thinking of
especially the logo too, right? Like the
yes.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
I love Candlemass actually.
Me too.
So,
one of my
I'm all
favorite
about that.
bands.
Yeah, Nightfall. That's my favorite. I think.
It's Nightfall. That's what I was thinking of. Exactly. That's exactly the album I was thinking of.
I think that the Scepter album, kind of has that Nightfall look. It's that old art.
Yeah,
the
definitely.
new Scepter. But yeah, the Matt Jaff did the art for a lot of the stuff. He did the Arcanist stuff, and also Phantom Flowers. So he's a great artist. He's actually on the West Coast.
Okay.
And I met him at Necronomicon, and we started working together. So
can you tell us a little bit about Necronomicon? Because I didn't even know about that before now, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners would love to hear it.
Yeah. Necronomicon is I guess biannual. It's every 2 summers. It's a big festival in Providence that celebrates Lovecraft's work. But more so, it celebrates like the new artists and new musicians that are inspired by Lovecraft. So it's not so much about him as it is about the circle of artists that he kind of inspired. So, but it's great because it encompasses visual art and music and obviously literature. There's a lot of readings and there's panel discussions about different topics. So it's really great. And we get people from all over the world that come to Providence for that. So it's a lot of fun. Cool. Yeah, it's usually like a weekend, and there's a lot of great stuff happening. And last time they had Cirith Ungol played.
Oh wow!
For Necronomicon. Awesome. Yeah, and before that, Godflesh played. So they get like some big acts. It's pretty awesome, actually.
Is that like an annual thing every year that happens?
Every 2 summers. So I think the next one's actually going to be this summer. Next summer. So
okay.
Yeah, so I'd encourage people to come down for it. It's really great. And then we have like vending. There's a vending hall, so people sell art. I sell my music there, and so that's been really good.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's been going on since, I guess, let me think about this. I think 2013 was the first one, maybe before that. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But it's been going on for a while now.
It's funny you mentioned Cirith Ungol because that was the other artist I was thinking of. I looked at the album art on your Bandcamp because you have some really similar styles. The high fantasy sort of.
Yeah, the epic kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Brendan, did you get a chance to check out some of the bands on the label?
I did.
Anything that really stood out to you?
I liked. I can't remember the name of it here. Hang on. It was the Chris Bozzone.
Yeah. Phantom Flowers. Oh, cool. Yeah.
It was like really, cool. It was like really neat and trippy, and it was just like nice and kind of calming and just like
a
little different, I like that a lot. And then
me and him actually collaborated on that Seer album.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, so that's he did all like the kind of the framework, like rough tracks, and then I kind of embellished on it. So it was kind of cool. We kind of did it like remotely, but it turned out I'm really proud of that. So we're both really proud of that.
Is that the Glimpsing into Oblivion album?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I love.
So it's kind of like our combined styles, which is cool.
Yes.
But yeah, he does a lot of work for Cadabra Records. You guys know them?
Sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm. They do like recitation. They do like spoken word stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So they do a lot of like Lovecraft, Arthur Macken, like a lot of the weird fiction writers, and he does the music behind a lot of that. Yeah, you should check out that. That's a great label.
Is it Cadabra like with a C or Cadabra with a K?
Cadabra, like abracadabra.
Oh, Cadabra. Okay.
Yeah.
Cadabra. Yeah, there's a Cadabra. All right.
Cadabra, cool. Yeah. But yeah, that's a cool label. Especially if you're into like horror movies and stuff. They release a lot of the Fritzy stuff. The zombie, like that movie, like all the what's his name? Fulci.
Yeah, I love Fulci.
Yeah, so he did Fabio Frizzi did a lot of scores for that.
Okay.
So they released some of his stuff too, which is cool.
Very cool.
So yeah, that's cool. That's a cool label to check out.
So for you, I mean, you've been obviously doing this for a little bit. What kind of got you into, firstly, two-part question, what got you into this type of music and what made you want to start a label? Yeah,
like I said, I started writing music. I went to school for composition, so I got into writing. And I was doing a lot of like film scores and stuff and like, just doing metal, I was just like recording a lot of music.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, I need to put it out. And then I was like, why don't I just do my own label? So I just kind of started it. And it was never really like, I'm never trying to be that big because I'm so busy with other stuff, like with the film. I do a lot of film music and I also teach music. So I didn't want it to like totally be, it's more like, I don't want to say a hobby, but like, it's like a labor of love, Uh-huh. So I think like, I just kind of got into it just to put the music out there, really, And that's kind of what it's about. I'm trying to obviously reach more people. Hopefully it's growing. It's kind of like a slow growth thing, but
yeah,
I think it's getting like a following now, which is cool, like underground following. So, but yeah, it's like kind of grassroots kind of thing, And
It's,
the Bandcamp was really helpful with that, I think.
Definitely. Bandcamp's a great platform for that type of thing, like building community.
It's amazing. Yeah, and I feel like people, if something comes out and they, a lot of people they'll buy it because they like follow the label, so it's really cool,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's been good. But yeah, I would say like I got into it just out of like wanting to release my music at the beginning.
So it's kind of funny because I know so many people that had the exact same story as you, who started labels just to put their own stuff out.
Right.
And it kind of grew to a point where like they had enough fans that other bands started being like, "Hey man, like, can I be on your label too?"
Yeah, that happens a lot actually. A lot of people like message me like, that they want to be on the label. But, I have to kind of it's hard because I hate to like turn people down, but I mean, it's I kind of have to be careful about how much I release, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Mhm.
Because, it is like a business, so at this point, so
Yeah.
But yeah, I love when people. I always listen to something that someone sends, But yeah,
Well,
it's been pretty cool.
The other thing is like oversaturation, which some labels definitely do.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to do that. That's what I said about like I kind of curate everything too. I want to make sure it fits within the kind of mission statement or whatever, like you said, the ethos of it, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's important. So if someone sends me something and I'm like, wow, this is like really Lovecraftian and it has that vibe or it fits with the other artists, I'll definitely like consider it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. Or someone
Yeah, and
says
it's
you like,
been, yeah.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say like this, it's kind of going in like a dungeon synthy direction too, which is cool. So
Right. Yeah, I was
And
just going to say, it's like if someone sends you like a random thrash metal release, and it's like,
yeah, I mean we have some thrash on there too, but
well, it has to be on the theme at least then. It has to be
Yeah,
like fantasy or
yeah.
horror.
yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It can't be like totally left, like ska, like a ska album probably won't end up on there. Nothing wrong with ska, but like, yeah, you have to draw the line somewhere, right?
Right.
Lovecraftian ska or whatever.
That'd be neat.
I'd
There's
be
like
down. Yeah.
satanic bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
But I love like I'm actually working on a new project with my friend, and it's kind of like more like progressive rock, like 70s prog rock.
Cool.
So I'm excited about that. So I want to get into more of that too because I love like 70s prog stuff,
Me too.
like Gentle Giant and like King Crimson, all that stuff. But Magma.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's kind of something I want to explore more too, with new releases.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's making a comeback a little bit, like the 70s prog.
Oh, definitely.
Like Hollis, that band Hollis or whatever from Sweden. Do you know them?
No, I don't know them.
Hallas. They're kind of like more rock too, but it definitely has a prog feel. Or even like Opeth and stuff is another example, like
Right.
bringing kind of the prog back to the mainstream. But
I actually own and operate a non-profit record label.
cool.
And I work exclusively with artists from outside of the US and Western Europe to try and help them get their music to Western audiences, basically.
Nice.
And there's a ton of cool 70s style prog that's undiscovered from those locations. Like some really awesome
bet.
stuff. Yeah.
Wow, I hope that comes out. Will that be coming out?
Yeah, it's out right now. I've got a couple up there. I'll send you a link after this.
Yeah,
to check
send me a
out.
link. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fun.
Yeah, I always think about all the prog stuff from that period that never maybe made it to the mainstream or whatever,
Mm-hmm. There's so
yeah,
much.
that's interesting to me. Yeah. You know that band Cathedral from Long Island?
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, it's like 70s prog, but yeah, I discovered that maybe like 10 years ago, but yeah, I love that.
There's another group from Washington State called Cadabra.
Oh, okay.
I just saw them live a few weeks back, and they blew my mind.
Oh, wow.
Really cool 70s inspired psychedelic stoner rock.
Oh, I got to check that out. That sounds cool.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got the big one, which is blowing up across the world, which is King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, which everyone knows now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're pretty progressive. They're really eclectic, too, which is cool.
Yeah, and prolific. It's like 10 albums
totally.
a year.
Yeah, it's nuts.
They're like pumped out I feel like 8 records this year alone.
It's amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
And I like
Something silly.
they do like microtonal stuff too, which is cool. like
Mhm.
quarter tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they do a lot of experimenting, but then they have like heavier stuff too, right?
They do. The new album. The new album that came out is
Yeah,
really
it's like pretty
really
heavy,
good
right?
and pretty heavy. Yeah, I dig that one.
Yeah, totally. They're cool.
The only
Yeah, they
thing
kind of
is,
fit in like with like hippie style music bands, and then like also like heavy like psych
Yeah.
bands and stuff. You know, like it's cool. So they get a lot of different kind of festivals and whatnot. Like they play kind of everywhere. You know.
They
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
the only
It's
thing
awesome.
is, it's one of those bands where it's like it's going to bankrupt you trying to own all their physical media.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
Right.
if you want every vinyl, you got to take out a mortgage.
Yeah, and they do all these different like versions of the vinyl too, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
it's
so
a
it's
lot.
like 12 versions of like the new album. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. they
Wish
did
I
do
wish I had
like
the money to do that for my label, but
right? They did a box set or something of vinyl. I think it was like a couple of $100.
oh wow, yeah.
It's a bit like the equivalent of you doing like a vinyl release compilation of your whole label, basically.
Right. The whole discussion. Yeah.
Exactly.
I better get to work. Yeah, they
Right.
Brendan,
That's funny.
did you have anything you wanted to chat about? I know you like had some questions lined up that you wanted to ask.
Oh. Well, I guess you like started making music. Like, what was your first instrument you learned how to play?
The first instrument was actually violin when I was really young, but I didn't really like it that much, to be honest. So then I got a drum set when I was like 9 or 10. So drums were actually, that was the first instrument I started to play. And I started taking lessons. But then we had a piano at the house, and my brother played piano, so I was always like fiddling around with that. And that's kind of how I got the bug of like writing music. And then I got a guitar and started like hijacking my brother's 4-track
Yeah.
and like recording like these shitty metal riffs on there. But like, yeah, so it was just, I mean, most of it was like by ear at the beginning. So I was just like exploring, like really exploring stuff. But yeah, so I would say like drums and then piano, then guitar, and then that was it. But yeah, so drums, that was the first instrument. But I got into like writing music early on. Like I had that bug of like I want to like make music, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved making things as a kid, like Legos and like just putting shit together, and it made sense for me to like approach music that way too,
Gotcha.
like construct stuff, and yeah, I really love that feeling. So that's why like recording on the 4-track was really
Yeah.
it was really really cool for me for my development, you know.
Nice. Who were you listening to? Like, who inspired you back then?
Yeah, I mean back then it was like mostly metal stuff. So like Def Leppard and like Iron Maiden, like Judas Priest. And then I got into like heavier stuff like, you know, like Slayer and like Morbid Angel.
Yeah.
And then also like Yngwie, stuff like that neoclassical stuff, like guitar playing.
Mhm.
And that kind of actually got me into classical music, which is weird. Like like the neoclassical metal,
Yeah.
like in the 80s, like late 80s. It got me like listening, and then like Frank Zappa, like he was talking about his classical influences. So all that stuff got me into classical a lot. And that's where I got the bug of like, oh, I want to like compose like symphonies and stuff like that, you know? But so yeah, it was weird because it started with metal, then I got into classical through the back door kind of, you know?
Yeah.
Like even though my brother was playing classical on piano and stuff, it didn't really make an impression until I heard things like Stravinsky and more like Perez, like avant-garde classical, that I was like, wow, classical can be this too, you know?
Right.
And then like film scores, stuff like that. So yeah, but I would say like, yeah, it started off with like metal, like thrash kind of stuff, and you know,
Nice.
like Queensryche, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And then-
Metallica too. I love Metallica when I was younger, like the early Metallica stuff.
Yeah.
And I was bummed when Metallica blew up because I'm like, this is my band. Like now everyone likes it. Like, because at the beginning, like no one really knew Metallica. Like I felt like
Yeah.
it was like my discovery. Like this is my band. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I think about that now and it makes me laugh. But
It's on the radio.
Yeah, and like, I only really recognized their first 4 albums, whatever. But
You know what's funny is there's now people like still trying to gatekeep Metallica. Like
Yeah.
it blew up even more within a whole nother generation of new listeners because it was on the Stranger Things show.
exactly.
You got these old guys being like keep Metallica metal. I'm like, dude, you can't gatekeep a band that has shirts at Target. Like, it's done.
Oh, totally. No, yeah, totally. I mean, it's not the same band, Right when Cliff died, it's a different band,
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's silly. That whole stuff is so. I was getting arguments online because I tried to defend Lars, but that never goes well. But I just feel I'm like, give the guy a break. He made some good albums, like whatever.
Right.
He's old now. He doesn't practice. Like, that's fine. But yeah, people are just so like Lars sucks and all this stuff, and I'm like, he didn't always suck. Like,
Wasn't
Right.
it James that said he's not? Someone said like, yeah, Lars is the best drummer in the world, and he said he's not even the best drummer in Metallica.
yeah, actually, yeah, James. Well, yeah. I mean, there's all that stuff, but obviously I mean, like the early stuff, he sounded pretty good, I think, and
Yeah.
but yeah,
It
they
went
just
downhill.
they lost their fire. Let's face it,
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just kind of like a business now. I
just-
love Iron Maiden too, but it's the same way. They're just like pumping out shit. Like
Right.
they're not really writing anymore. It's just like a formula now. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
like,
Yep.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I could produce these bands, like get in the studio and be like, okay, let's do this right. Like,
Yeah.
like you got this in you. I know you guys have this in you. Like, but everyone's just like, they're just like yes men now with them. They're just like, yeah, let's
Yeah,
just
it's
make
great.
money.
Best thing ever.
Yeah, this is great.
Mhm.
Like, this is going to be a new hit. Like, so there's like no integrity anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
But whatever. That's fine. It is what it is.
That's how I felt about like the last Ozzy Osbourne album.
Yeah, I didn't even listen to that, but
It's
I'm sure
it's,
it was
it's
disappointing.
like it's a shame because he has some really cool guests with a lot of talent on the album.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
then he like made them play some like shitty riff that like
It's
anyone
weird.
could have played. I'm like, why would you go get this big name who's a great guitarist and make him play this boring riff? Like, why even have him on? Like,
No, I know. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just for like the name or something. Who knows?
Yeah. I was like, let him do his thing. Give him some free reign. He could have done something really sweet that made that song awesome.
That's
Right.
true. I agree with that. I always like if I try to work with people, like I always try to give them like the freedom to like, because once you start putting someone in a box with like directions and like make it sound like this,
Yeah.
they're not gonna be into it, and they're
Right.
not gonna give you their best performance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's better
Right.
to have like, this is the kind of thing I'm going for. Can you do something like that? And just let them make something that they
Right.
want to make.
Or you get someone for what they do. You're like, they're good at this. I'm gonna bring them in to do that.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
totally. That makes sense. So yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, those early Ozzy albums were great,
Oh, amazing. They were
Yeah.
so much fun.
and the
They're so-
musicians are so good on them.
Right. I mean, especially with like, it's sad what happened. They were on such a like forward momentum, and then the plane crashed. That was such
I know,
a
I
freak
know.
accident.
Yeah, that was really tragic.
Like what are the odds of that? You know what I mean? Like a plane hitting a bus. Like,
Yep, I know. It's
Yeah.
silly. I don't know what happened with that, but yeah. So he was so young, right?
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just kind of like peaking his career. He was like a rising star.
But I even liked Jakey Lee when he came in.
Yeah.
But that I guess like him and Sharon didn't get along or something. But I actually met Jakey Lee. I got his autograph.
Oh,
I got backstage
cool.
to Ozzy once, but Ozzy like took off, so I just met the band. But
still
it
cool.
was pretty cool. I know,
Yeah.
but it would have been cool
Did
to
you-
meet Ozzy. But
Did you see they have a new family podcast, the Osbournes collectively?
I saw that.
Look-
Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet, but that should be
I checked
interesting.
it out.
Oh yeah,
It's,
is
uh,
it good?
I-
I'm sure it's funny.
It's both funny, but also like a little sad. Like just seeing Ozzy so
Yeah, Ozzy's kind of a mess, right? Yeah,
he's just so frail.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, he has like Parkinson's now or something, right?
yeah, but they
Right.
were saying that the family was saying like Parkinson's isn't as bad as the media makes it out to be. Like
Right.
he's actually all right with the Parkinson's, but it's actually a spinal injury that's caused most of his problems.
Oh, okay.
He had a really bad fall or something that smashed a bunch of vertebrae.
Oh
and
wow.
then
So he's
I
probably
guess,
just on like pain meds or something.
I think so. But they talk about the whole thing on the podcast. But basically, he went to some doctor who was a quack,
Oh
who
no.
did like super invasive surgery that was way more extreme than it should have been.
Oh wow.
And he's way worse off than before the surgery. Like
Oh no.
he was able to still tour and stuff. And like if he had just let the spine heal, he could have been okay. But this guy fused a bunch of vertebrae or some shit. Like,
Oh wow.
and
Yeah, I've heard about that.
now he can barely stand, I guess.
Oh man, that sucks.
So that's why he had to stop touring. That's actually why he pulled out of the all those festivals he was playing.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
That's too bad.
That's wild. Yeah.
I know.
I was going to say before we were talking, you mentioned about teaching. You teach music. How did you get into doing all that?
Yeah, I teach private lessons in drums and piano and composition. I think like after college, I was like, I went to school for music, and then I got out and like, what am I going to do now? Like, so I thought like teaching was kind of a good thing to get into. So I was lucky enough to get a job at like a community center teaching.
Okay.
So I do like one-on-one teaching, but now I also do like Zoom lessons with people. But I still teach in person at the center. So, but it's like all ages now. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and I have some good drummers there too. So.
Oh, that's nice. I was about to ask, do you have like people that like just go in there and like you're like, get out of here, you guy. You don't need, like. Yeah,
some of them are really good, but I can always. I've been playing for so long that I can usually show them stuff. But there was one kid who played like all these Tool songs, and I was like, wow, this is pretty. Yeah, it's pretty sick. He's like a high school kid.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, that was cool. So that was fun. But yeah, I like that a lot. And I don't teach that much because I'm doing so much other stuff. But I do like doing that, like a couple days a week. That's the thing about being like a musician and surviving. It's like you kind of have to do a lot of different things,
Right.
So I do like the film music. I do the teaching, and I do the label. So that helps with like, surviving. I think like it's important as an artist to sort of diversify. I think, and you got to kind of market yourself. So yeah, it's tricky. I mean, it took a long time to sort of get to the point where I'm just doing music now,
Right.
But it's cool to be able to do that.
Yeah. How did you get into the sorry, I'm blanking there. The
like film scoring?
Film star. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I think like well, that was another thing. When I graduated, I was like I had this degree in composition, and I'm like, well, I can't write weird classical music to make money, so
right.
you have to kind of. So I was like, well, I always liked films a lot, so I just thought it'd be cool to try to do music for film. So at first I went to like RISD, which is the big art school in Providence, and I was just like flyering, like because there was like a film department.
Yeah.
So I just put flyers up to do like a score for someone, and I got some gigs through that. So yeah, then I just like went to like got on Craigslist and just started doing it that way. But it was like a steep learning curve though, because I hadn't like scored a film before, and there weren't really classes at school for that. So I kind of had to learn how to do it. So the first thing I did was actually the Bunnyman. Like the first big film was the Bunnyman film, the first one. Yeah. So that was like a real steep kind of learning curve, but it was like trial by fire. But that was really great. And the guy's in California, so we talked a lot on the phone about it, and
nice.
And that turned out really good. But it's not my favorite when I listen to it now because it was so early on. But it was definitely a good experience. So once that happened, it kind of, I kind of got out there a little bit and started getting more jobs. But yeah, so that was really, I love doing the film stuff because it's different than when I write other music. It's with the film, it's a collaborative thing with the filmmaker. So I think it's really sort of like a multimedia thing.
Right.
But when it's working, it's like a really cool feeling when like the scene is working with the music, and it's like, yeah, it's a lot of fun. And it's just challenging too. Like sometimes, they'll be like, "Oh, can you do like a Latin jazz thing here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess." Like then you got to like figure out how to do this like style of music that you've never written before, So it's always kind of weird challenges like that.
All right. And like you can't obviously like just do. It has to be original, so you can't just like
Yeah,
snag
exactly.
cool, like soundtrack from whenever.
Yeah, no. So, but you know, a lot of times I'll listen to something and like model it after that.
Right.
If it's something like way out of my wheelhouse,
Right.
But yeah, but I also did the Spine of Night too, which was a lot of fun. Do you guys know that? It's an animation.
No.
The spine.
Yeah, the Spine of Night. It's I actually released the soundtrack on the label, but it's an R-rated animation. It was actually on Shudder.
Oh, awesome! Love
Lucy
Shudder.
Lawless did some of the voices.
Very cool.
Huh.
No,
Yeah. So it had like some big people do voices. I'm trying to think who else is on there.
Is it still on Shudder?
Joe Manganiello, he did some of the voices. I think it is still on Shudder, or it should be.
Check.
Or you can probably get it through Amazon. So it's like animation in the style of like heavy metal. You remember that? And like Fire and Ice, like the old Lord of the Rings, that kind of.
Oh yeah.
Bakshi, his stuff.
Oh, I love this. Like the old Hobbit, like the
color or something.
Yeah, you're gonna like it because if you watch it, it looks like that style, like that.
Very cool.
Yeah, Joe from back in the day. Like.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. So that was a lot of fun. It was like super gory too. So I got to do. And he was like, "Oh, can you do like doom metal guitars here?" I'm like, "Yeah, fuck yeah!" Like the director was super cool about me just doing either like the classical or like going like metal or like experimental. And we had some other composers on it too. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Looks like it's no longer on Shudder, but it's on AMC Plus and Amazon and the Roku channel.
Oh, cool! Great. Yeah,
anyone who's listening and wants to find it.
Yeah, we have the soundtrack too on the label. So
violent.
It's pretty violent. There's a lot of killing in it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
we actually had
81% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
Yeah, 81% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh wow, that's good. I didn't know that.
Good.
Yeah,
very
sick.
Cool.
Nice.
It's got 4.4 out of 5 on Amazon.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah,
happy to hear that.
Go. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I know. That's awesome. Well, I'm glad. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun working that director. He's actually written a lot for Netflix too.
Oh, really?
That's cool.
Philip Gillott, yeah. So it was cool working with him. I've known him for a while. He's another guy that I met at Necronomicon. It's crazy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've met so many cool people there, and it's like, yeah, and everyone's into the same shit, so it's like really a cool place to meet and great artists there. Yeah, yep. Yeah, you guys should come out for the next one.
Yeah. When is it again?
It's around August. It's going to be this August, so a year from now. So it's usually around Lovecraft's birthday, which is August 20th. So
okay,
yeah. So they try to line it up with that.
Nice.
Very cool.
It's a lot of fun.
Just have to make a quick correction. It is on Shudder. I found it.
Oh, is it? Oh, cool. Yeah, I thought so because they actually like produced it. I think.
Oh, awesome! It just didn't come up on Google for some reason, but it is on the actual Shudder website.
Oh, perfect.
So, I mean, we've obviously know that you like horror. We just did an episode actually with the guy Brandon who runs Horror Wolf, the podcast series.
Okay.
And we had like a whole hour, 20-minute horror episode.
Nice. That's awesome.
Great. So we're wondering then, what is your favorite horror? Like a couple of movies.
Oh, that's tough. It's weird. I like some of the Japanese horror. Like, you ever see Cure? Do you know that movie?
Yes.
I like that a lot. Kurosawa, not the other Kurosawa, like the newer one, but yeah. And I don't know so much. I mean, I love Exorcist 3 for some reason.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's very normal. A lot of people love Exorcist.
It's
3.
awesome. Yeah, I always liked it. I don't know, like The Thing, obviously.
Right.
I like a lot of the Italian horror, like Suspiria. I like Profondo Rosso, that stuff. Yeah, it's really like all over. It's hard to decide which, and Changeling. I love that movie. Do you know that one?
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah, isn't it good?
Mm-hmm.
As far as like a haunted house movie, I think because the main character was a composer, I thought that was cool. But yeah, I mean, obviously, The Shining.
Yes.
I love the music in that.
It's great.
Yeah, it's just beautifully shot too.
Mm-hmm.
But The Witch, I love that score.
That's an unsettling movie.
Yeah, and the score is very unsettling.
It's ominous.
Yeah.
And obviously, like for me, that's like important for like a horror movie is like the score. Like I really listen to that, so sometimes it's like biased, kind of why I like the movie. But what about you? What are some of your favorites?
Score based or movie based?
Or just movie based?
Okay, just quickly though, score based. Mine is mine is Sinister.
Oh yeah, that is a good score. Was that
It has
Clausen? Did he do that?
It's a couple of different people. I think it might have been him, but it was also featured some music from
the first
Ulver.
one. You mean the first one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is a good score.
Yeah, it's got
Who
like
was the composer?
Ulver. Let's see, Sinister. Let's see.
Ulver's on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Christopher
right.
Young was the.
I love
composer.
Chris Young. Yeah, he did Hellraiser. That's one of my favorite movies too. Let's not. Yeah, the first Hellraiser.
That's great. The first one's excellent.
Yeah, and that the music is so great, so epic.
Yeah, Suspiria.
I love Clive
Speaking of
Barker.
soundtrack,
I'm a big
Suspiria,
Clive Barker fan.
Fantastic soundtrack on Suspiria.
Oh yeah, Goblin.
Yeah, they're actually playing here in LA. I think like
I heard that. Yeah, it's with Claudio Simonetti, right?
I think so. I have friends going. And I'm very jealous.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love their stuff.
Some of my favorite horrors, though, probably Original Exorcist.
Oh yeah, I love that.
I mean, Sinister as well. I love that movie.
Yeah,
Mandy.
Yeah, I'd put Exorcist up there.
Did you guys check out Nope?
Nope was
fun. I
fun.
watched that. That was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was good.
Yeah. Totally. I like his stuff.
I do
too.
I liked Nope more than I liked Us. Us was his weakest one, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's weird. I liked Us in the movie theater, but when I sat with it, like thought about it more, I didn't like it as much.
Yeah, it didn't stick with me.
No,
that's it. I didn't come back. It's not something I'd come back to. But I'd come back. I saw Get Out twice, and I'd probably see.
Yeah,
Nope
me
again.
too. Yeah, I own that actually. I like that a lot. Do you
That was a
know
great movie.
It Follows? I like that movie a lot.
That's a cool movie.
It's really. I love that soundtrack because I'm a big fan of Disaster Piece. His work.
Okay. That's
yeah,
cool.
he does like video game music, but he did some horror movies too, which is cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's a great composer.
A lot of people would disagree with me on this because I know some people don't like the movie and whatever, but I love Midsommar as well. It's one of my top horrors.
I like it too, actually.
It's very unique.
I actually like that more than their other movie. What's it called? Yeah, I liked it more than that.
Me
I
too.
didn't like Hereditary as much as everyone else did.
No, I think Midsommar is better.
I do too. I think it's tighter. I think.
Yeah, it has
Hereditary
had
a lot of weird things. Like, why didn't anyone call the cops when this girl was killed? Like, I'm like,
right.
It just was so like your suspension of disbelief was just like so much that I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And then it just kind of ripped off Rosemary's Baby at the end with all the like the old coven or whatever. The elderly coven.
Speaking of Rosemary's Baby, have you seen that American Horror Stories new season is literally just an exact copy of Rosemary's Baby's plot?
Oh, no, is it? I didn't know that.
Like almost down to the detail.
Oh, God.
Only one episode's out so far.
They're just ripping it off?
Oh, very intentional. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're just kind of phoning it in, it seems like, with that stuff.
Well, that and like one of the main characters is played by Kim Kardashian. I'm like,
yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch this, but...
Yeah, my wife is watching it because of Kim Kardashian, and I was just like working in my computer, like watching over my shoulder, and I said to my wife, I was like, "This is literally Rosemary's Baby, like the exact plot."
Wow, weird. So the woman gets pregnant, and it's like the devil baby, whatever.
Yeah, to give you an example, it's about a woman who's an actress as well, who is trying to get pregnant, can't get pregnant. Her and her husband are trying. She's seeing this weird doctor who gives her strange vitamins, who's making her see things.
What?
Yeah, and it's like a demon baby thing as well. It's like it's just the same movie.
Oh my god! Yeah, it is the same thing.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Especially with the weird vitamins part.
Yeah, exactly. Even like down to that stuff.
What do they call it? Tannis root or whatever it was.
I bet there's a bunch of people who've never seen Rosemary's Baby who'd be like, "This is such a cool concept." And be like, "Yeah, it's."
I know that's sad, right?
It.
Yeah, exactly.
Simpsons did it.
You know, I thought was a great score was for Chernobyl, that miniseries.
Did
you guys watch that?
I tried.
Started
and
it.
the
Yeah, it was
fact that
tough.
The fact that the Russians had English accents bothered me so much I couldn't watch it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Sometimes
so
that
strange.
stuff really just bothers me. So I'm just like, dude, really?
Yeah.
Like,
No, I know what you
if
mean.
it was
but
if it was American, I wouldn't question it because everyone's American in movies. But like specifically making them English, it was such a weird choice.
well, I think what's his name is Swedish though, right? Yeah, but I know what you're saying. But I think if you listen, it's a great soundtrack though. Check out the soundtrack.
Okay, maybe I should try it.
It's one of my
again and try and
favorites,
get past that. It's like,
Yeah,
but
if you can
just
get past
Russian
that, it's pretty
actors.
good, I think. I know, right? Well, now you can't. Though.
That's yeah, I know that now. Now you can. Yeah, hey, there's Russian Americans.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I know. I agree with you though. Yeah, it is weird. I always think it's weird that every I don't know, like fantasy movie, everyone has to have an English accent. Like
right. Or every movie about ancient Rome, that everyone Roman's English. I'm like, why?
yeah, exactly,
Like,
like that Shakespearean kind of thing or whatever.
Yeah, let's get Italians. Like,
bizarre.
Italians are closer, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's funny.
Brendan, what about you? What are some of your favorites?
Well, recently I would definitely go with Nope. I thought that was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then, man, we were mentioned The Witch too. I haven't watched a lot of like old classics in a while. I'm trying to think of like something that like I don't know.
Yeah, which ones do you go back to ever? Any ones that you rewatch?
Conjuring
I'm
for
just
me.
gonna go on.
The first Halloween I kind of like
Yeah,
That's
Halloween
fun.
was definitely good.
because it's kind of like subtle too.
Yeah, soundtrack's so good too.
It's really good.
Yeah, Halloween, Candyman.
Oh,
I
Candyman.
watched that the other day. I was
Candyman's
like,
great. Yeah.
there's a remake, I guess, recently. So I was like,
Oh, yeah.
That
Let me
was
watch the old one.
That was Peele. That was Jordan Peele.
Oh, right. Was it any good?
I honestly enjoyed it. I thought it was
Did you?
kind of like
Yeah.
it held up.
Cool.
Nice.
I like the original a lot. I love the soundtrack was Philip Glass, actually, right?
On the
Believe it
new
or
one,
not. No, on the original.
original. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's like that minimal Philip Glass kind of vibe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I read this interview with John Carpenter, and he was talking
Mhm.
about how the only reason that Halloween's soundtrack is so minimalistic is literally because he wasn't very good at music, and so
Yeah,
he
I believe
made
that.
because that's all he could do.
Wow, yeah. That's amazing.
And then when he did the thing, he's like, "Okay, I'm not very good. I want this to be really good." And he hired that dude.
Morricone, yeah.
Yeah, Morricone. And
Who basically
kind
did
of-
like a John Carpenter soundtrack for that one.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was still like really minimal, but it did have
Yeah.
some cool stuff, but it was like in John Carpenter's style, which is funny.
He made him do that.
I think he knew like what he wanted to hear, which is the most
Yeah.
important thing, I think, you know?
Yeah, from what I read, there was like a bunch of rewrites on that one where he's like, make it more like this, and just like kind of turned
Right.
it into like something he would have made if he had more talent. It's just kind of cool.
Yeah, I think I heard that the outtakes for that were used in like he used it later for a Tarantino movie.
Really?
Yeah, the Hateful Eight.
Oh, I love that movie.
So Morricone used like stuff that wasn't used for the thing in that.
Crazy. That's so much
Isn't that
later and
nuts?
such a different style of
Because
movie.
he didn't have a lot of time to do it, and he was like, "Why don't I just use like I'll do a couple cues, like new cues, but then we'll like rework some of the stuff from the thing." He's like, "All right," like because
Very cool.
Tarantino only gave him like a month or something ridiculous to write it. It was like a last minute thing he wanted because he usually uses like like just already existing music, whatever. So
Right.
then. But yeah, so he's kind of under time pressure. So they ended up using outtakes from the thing, which I thought was crazy.
All right, I'm gonna have to
Isn't that
rewatch that
wild?
now and listen
Yeah.
to that. That's wild. Yeah,
Yeah, right?
I love that. That's so cool.
I know. So that's probably the stuff that John Carpenter was like, this doesn't really fit or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weird.
It's funny though because apparently when he came back to him with the first like rough version or whatever, he's like, I want it to be more like Escape from Manhattan.
Right. Okay.
And that was
Escape
his
from New York. Yeah.
Just guy from New York. Sorry, yeah, that's the one. That was his reference point.
Yeah. It's his own stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But I love the fog too. That's a great score.
Yeah,
I like that movie too. It's a creepy movie.
that is cool.
All that stuff.
Brendan, I just noticed we've gone off time wise. Do you have any
Oh
other
yeah,
questions?
we're probably running out of time.
Do you have any questions you want to ask still before we talk about horror the whole evening?
Yeah. Right.
Oh, jeez. Have you? What are your favorite venues around Rhode Island?
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
We may have lost him. I know one of the questions.
I'm here.
Oh,
there we
I'm
go.
talking.
Okay. Oh, it wasn't coming through.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's odd.
We got you now.
Well, I was saying, what are your favorite local venues that you catch shows at in Rhode Island?
Yeah, there's like a couple. There's a place called Dusk that's pretty cool. It's in Providence. It's like a kind of small venue, but they have like some good metal shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not. Oh, Alchemy, that's a good place too. But yeah, it's kind of not unfortunately, a lot of bands bypass Providence now. So they'll do like New York and then Boston. You know, it wasn't always that way, but you know, so a lot of times I'll have to go up to Boston to see stuff. But yeah, it's funny. It's kind of like you would think like they'd want to do a show in the middle, but I guess they figure people from Providence would just come up to Boston. But so yeah, I'm kind of a hermit now though. Anyway, so I'm just sitting here writing music the whole time. But yeah. What about near you? What's there?
Well, we got
Toad's Place. Is that over there?
Toad's Place is in New Haven, I think, right? Yeah, and then
right. Yeah, I used to go there. That was a cool place.
Yeah. Then there's the Webster Theater in Hartford.
Oh right. Okay.
There's some
I've been
cool
there.
ones there.
Yeah, it's a nice venue.
Yeah. Cherry Street Station.
Yep.
That's in Wallingford. Those are, and then there used to be a spot down in Connecticut, and then like the last show that I saw there, and I think they put on was the New England Stoner Doom Festival, and it was like 3-4 days of like some pretty cool bands, you know, and then
nice.
I don't know. Yeah, that one shut down. It was kind of a neat little space.
Cool. Yeah, I hope that like people still like going to live venues. It seems like it's kind of making a comeback after COVID, you know.
I'm there all the time. They're constantly at live music.
Yeah, I love it.
I can go as best I can
think
too,
like,
for sure.
Yeah, I try to encourage my students to go to live stuff, you know, if they're old enough and stuff. Like, it's inspiring, you know?
It is. It's a different experience listening to it.
Yeah, totally.
Well,
I mean, there's so many people just listen to SoundCloud and stuff or whatever, but
yeah,
right, and
like Spotify, like people don't go to live music.
It's a shame. It's like you're missing out on so much that you can't get from listening to it. There's like a sense of community and belonging. There's the actual power, like the power of it live.
Yeah, just like feeding off the audience, you know, like
the energy.
Totally.
Awesome.
I remember like playing live shows and just like the audience is really into it, and it's like you just feed off that, and you get like you play even better because this is like it's that sort of it's an interesting like exchange of energy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, man!
Yeah, you don't get that with just listening.
It's interesting though because there's a lot of musicians that we talk to who don't go to live music. I'm like, that's so strange though. Like you expect other people to come see you play, but you don't see other people in your local. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
I find that weird.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm always supporting like friends' bands and stuff when they play, you know.
Yeah,
of course.
But,
that's what you do.
Right. There's my buddy's band opened up for Crowbar on Sunday, you know, and it was fucking sweet.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wow, I remember Crowbar. I didn't know they were still playing.
Yeah.
Nice.
They played They did a little East
What's the
Coast.
first show you guys have seen? I'm curious.
First show.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
First
Yeah, first
First-
shows. Let's hear it.
I
As
feel like
embarrassing as they may be.
First show that's
Oh.
not with like my family as a child. I'll go with.
Yeah, what's that?
That was for me. It was Job for a Cowboy, Behemoth, and Goat Whore.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
I
Yeah,
feel mine was like
there's
Behemoth.
some embarrassing ones, but
I went to like
What was yours?
the Warp Tour.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
You know,
So
so I
who's
saw
playing?
a bunch of like punk
Like
bands.
Blink-182?
I feel like I don't think they were. No, I don't know. It
No,
was
I don't know.
97. It was
Oh, okay.
97.
Yeah.
And so it was like Rancid, Dropkick Murphys, Hate
Okay.
Breed,
Yep.
like
Nice.
I want to say like Save Ferris and some other like there was a bunch of other crazy bands.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw Kid Rock before he had like a big album. You know, that was pretty funny.
Oh, wow.
He was like on his tiny stage,
and he was
like,
Baby Rock.
Yeah.
Weird.
It was like, definitely teenage rock. That was pretty
Nice.
funny.
That's awesome.
What about
Yeah.
what about you?
My first, I guess, like my brother took me to Rush, so that was like the first big show.
Amazing.
Oh, that's
So that was especially I was just starting to play drums. Yeah, that was pretty intense.
That sets
that
a
was
high
like-
standard.
I know. I was kind of depressed after that. I was like, "Fuck, I really need to practice." Like,
damn.
it was like inspiring and depressing at the same time.
yeah.
But yeah, that was like Power Windows tour or whatever.
Oh wow.
So that was like the first big like arena show. But then like the first small venue was probably like, it might have been like Ramones or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I used to sneak out of the house with my older friend. He would take me. No,
Nice.
hopefully my parents won't listen to this, but no, but like yeah, we used to go to this club called the Living Room in Providence. That place was awesome, like the old one. This is back in like the 80s. Like I saw King Diamond there and stuff,
Oh nice. I've
Nice.
never
and like
seen him.
Slayer on South of Heaven, that tour.
Wow.
Yeah, that was sick. They had
That's
like
cool.
great shows there. It was kind of a small venue.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And it was like a family too. It was a really cool place.
Very cool. And they had Slayer player there. That's sick. And King Diamond.
Yeah, and I saw Faith No More there too
Wow.
Nice.
on the Real Thing, like that first. Is that the first album? I forgot, but
Real thing.
yeah, that was cool.
I think so. Yeah.
They weren't super big yet; they were just starting to blow up. So it was like a lot of people there, but it wasn't crazy.
Nice.
Right.
So that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was a great venue. It was like a classic venue.
Yeah.
Then it got shut down, but
We Care a Lot was their first album. The Real Thing
okay.
was their third, and that's where they blew up.
oh, okay, yeah. So that
And
was kind of
then-
the tour that I saw.
Angel Dust is what made them absolutely massive. So like Real Thing, they were starting
Oh,
to get
right.
momentum, and then Angel Dust, like they took off.
Yeah. You guys know Mr. Bungle at all?
Oh yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, I saw that one of those shows, like California, I think. That album.
Oh cool.
Yeah, so that was pretty amazing, actually.
That was from like
Helmet is-
99 or something.
Yeah, Helmet. I've seen Helmet live too.
Yeah, they're
Nice.
playing.
You guys like Helmet? Yeah,
Yeah.
strap it on.
Awesome.
It's good shit.
Well, that drummer plays in Battles, right?
I actually don't know.
Oh,
From
maybe.
Yeah.
Helmet.
I think so. Yeah.
Cool, Brendan.
Anyway, we're getting off topic.
No, you're totally fine. We're clicking up to the hour. Did you have anything else you want to ask?
Well, I don't know if this is like a thing I read on the internet or what, but
Uh oh. I don't like the sound of that.
Where
do
did
you get a
babies
good
come from?
cabinet?
If what?
Where do you go for a good cabinet?
Oh, cabinet. Wow, you're talking like Rhode Island. Oh
Yeah.
man, I haven't had cabinet since I was a kid, but I guess New Park Creamery. That's where you go.
What is a
Yeah.
cabinet?
It's kind of like a milkshake. Someone just asked me like the difference. Does it have an egg in it or something? Oh, that's
I don't
something
know.
different. That's like a
I have no idea. I've never heard of one.
It's a Rhode Island thing. It's like a weird, or maybe it's just like an ice cream and soda thing, like a ice cream float or whatever.
Essentially, it was
What you
just a
read?
milkshake.
It's what? Milkshake, yeah.
Essentially, it was just a milkshake, yeah. Ice
Yeah.
cream and milk.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
it says, okay, this is what the internet
coffee.
says. Yeah, coffee is
Coffee
the
milk?
difference. Coffee
Well,
syrup.
coffee
yeah,
milk is different, too.
Oh, coffee syrup. Yeah, that's a Rhode Island thing.
And coffee ice cream, apparently.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you guys don't know about coffee syrup.
No, what's that?
It's like, like chocolate syrup that you make like chocolate milk with. This is like coffee syrup, so it's like coffee flavored.
okay.
It's actually
Looking at
pretty
it.
good. This is like, yeah. I'll send you guys some. Well, you're in Connecticut. You can get it.
You can get your own.
I
man.
can probably find it. Yeah, I gotta look for it now.
Go get a cabinet this weekend.
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh my god. Yeah, there's some weird Rhode Island things. That's funny.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I love it. And then,
Cool.
Yeah, man.
well,
Is that your?
it being a major
Regional
tourist,
cuisine.
yeah. I was gonna say is since like Rhode Island's pretty seasonal with tourists and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
What is there? Do you have like a favorite restaurant that's only open like during the busy season?
No, it's usually like the restaurants are open year round, usually even like the seafood places. So, yeah, I don't know. Not really. I don't really eat out that much, to be honest. So it's like, there are some good places I go to, but yeah.
What
Right
is
on, right
a
on.
Johnny? What is a Johnny cake?
Johnny cake, it's like a fritter, I think. It's like a corn fritter or something, right? Or maybe
Looking-
it's just like it's a weird pancake thing.
Yeah, with corn.
It's a pancake
cornbread,
with oats in it.
cornbread
right?
Yeah.
pancake.
Yeah, it's a cornbread pancake, exactly.
Huh.
It's like stuff that you have at like fairs here and stuff.
Okay. What about
Wow, Johnny cake.
what about hermit cookies?
Hermit cookies.
I'm just looking at a list of.
That sounds like a Maine thing. No, I don't know. Hermit cookie. I don't know what that. We have hot wieners. You guys know what that is?
Yeah, I saw that one.
They're like hot dogs, like little hot dogs with like a meat sauce on it. But it has like
Yeah.
a weird curry flavor. It's really pretty good, actually.
Interesting. It sounds
Yeah.
good. I'd eat that.
Yeah. And they call them New York System for some reason, even though
Really?
you go to New York and they're nowhere to be found. I guess they wanted it to be like legit, like this is like what they have in New York, but it's like nothing like anything in New York.
I have
Yeah.
one more food item question. What is a stuffy? What is a stuffy?
Oh, a stuffy. That's like a stuffed clam, so it's like a big
Right.
clam that they take out the inside and then they chop it up, and then they put it with like breadcrumbs and stuff and stuff it back in.
That sounds amazing.
It's really good, actually. Yeah, we have good seafood here, that's for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys definitely have.
Well, you
some
get good
stuff.
seafood in California though too.
It's different
You know
though.
what's
Like
funny?
You got like the best sushi there and stuff.
We do.
So-
we do. That's good. You guys get really good like clam chowder and stuff though. I love that stuff.
Oh yeah. We have all different types of clam chowder too. Like
Yeah.
there is
Yeah.
a Rhode Island clam chowder, which is like the
Is it the
clear
red
one.
and
It's
the
like the
white?
most boring of. It's the most boring of the three.
Who
Yeah,
has
there's red, white, and clear. Like we're like the clear one. Like,
which one's your favorite?
oh,
I like
that's
the
tough
white.
because I like the white too, but sometimes the red is
Yeah.
nice too because it's like that tomato base.
Yeah.
Depends on the mood, but yeah, I like the white too. Like white
White's
is super
good.
filling too.
It is. It's good.
It's like super
Yeah,
heavy, but
it's
you guys
thick,
like
it's definitely-
I had never had clam chowder until I moved to the US, and then I became obsessed with
I
it.
grew up in New Hampshire, so I had
yeah.
plenty of clam chowder. So what's
What
funny
about
is I
lobster
was-
bisque?
Lobster bisque is
Lobster
good.
bisque is
Lobster
good.
bisque is so good.
Lobsters-
Yeah,
Yeah.
love
Really
lobster
lobster.
bisque. Lobster.
Lobster. First I lobster,
All right.
then I
We're... That's a good one. That could be the name. That could be a good food truck name, dude.
yeah.
That's your
yeah,
food,
yeah.
lobster food truck.
She owed
That's
me
awesome.
lobster money. Oh Jesus. I was gonna say the I was on this like big list of like silly stuff from Rhode Island and food, they called like grinders or Subway like sandwiches or whatever, right? I grew up in New Hampshire.
Grinder,
I always called it a grinder.
Oh yeah, it's the same in New Hampshire. Yeah.
I never called it a sub. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you go to New York, it's like a hoagie or something, right? Or a sub, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Maybe hoagie is like Philadelphia
or New Jersey.
It's so cool. I like that everything has like a regional.
Yeah,
like there's different regional things. Makes it interesting.
Right.
Because our country is so big, it's like you might as well be in like a different country when you go to like. You know what I mean? Like Texas is like a different country, really.
Oh yeah.
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 And like California, like that's its own country, It's
it is.
Oh yeah.
If you look at it like Europe, that's kind of the way I look at the U.S.
It's in like it's got one of the top, like the largest economies in the entire world, in like the top 10, and it's a state. It's like it is a country.
Well,
basically.
Texas.
Oh, and Texas and California.
California,
both,
yeah,
massive.
it's true. Yeah, it's nuts, dude.
Massive. Like
there's such
California,
rich states.
The LA basin area has the population of Australia.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's nuts.
Like New Zealand.
Wow, the whole country?
Yeah. Yeah. If you combine...
Where are you from? Are you from Australia? Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from South Africa.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah, because your accent's different. Yeah, it's not really...
I have a weird accent because I was from South Africa, I grew up in New Zealand, and then I moved to Australia. So it's like a weird blend.
Yeah, it's
accent.
a combination of those.
Yeah.
My neighbor actually is working in South Africa now, which is funny.
Oh, cool. Do you know where?
I think Johannes, like the big Johannesburg.
That's a scary place.
It's rough. He said it's really rough. Like he's like, if you
rough.
stop driving, like people like hijack your car and shit.
No, that's legit. At night, if it's a red light, you don't stop.
No, that's what he said, dude. It sounds scary and like it's nuts, dude.
Cape Town's super cool though. Like if you want to visit somewhere and like spend some time, Cape Town's a lot chiller. Johannesburg's a bit of a scary place.
Where did you live? Where were you?
Durban.
In Cape Town?
On the East Coast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Cape Town's West Coast, Durban's East Coast. So
Cape
Town's like colder, much colder, kind of like, I don't know, more European weather, I guess. And then Durban's tropical.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, so you moved around a lot.
I did, yeah. And now I'm here. San Diego.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect weather, right?
Until this year, yeah. It's been It's been weird this year. I don't know.
Did you deal with fires at all where you are? Or?
Not so much.
Not where you are, no.
No, not so much yet. I don't know. They're saying that there still could be, but we had.
You're more in it's like southern, right? It's like
we're on the border. Like I'm like a 20-minute drive from Mexico.
Right, exactly.
We've had like a weird year with rain where it's like we had a couple of months where it should have been warm and sunny. And it was just raining and cloudy, which is like we needed it, but it's meant that we've had kind of a weird summer. It was super hot, but we didn't have many fires because shit wasn't so dry.
Right.
So, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. Everything seems to be flipped. Like as far as like, I mean, it usually gets cool here in September, but it was really hot. A lot of September.
This whole year is just off, like everywhere, not just the US, like the whole world. Like
we got a lot of rain too in the summer. Yeah.
Right.
Or it's like 1 month where it rains all month, and the next month it's like totally dry.
Yeah, exactly. It's been like that for us too. It's weird. Brendan, did you have anything else, or are you good?
I think we're good to go.
Sweet.
Yeah, do you guys edit this, or what is?
We do.
The process. Yeah.
But
cool.
I do have one more question for you.
Good enough. Okay, sure.
It's everyone who comes on the show gets asked this one.
Okay.
If you were stranded on a desert island and you had nothing but a solar-powered Discman and 3 CDs to listen to over and over again until you're rescued, what would you want them to be?
Oh, God. Wow, let me think about this.
Yeah, no worries. It's a tough one.
I'm trying to think what I listen to most, like, now. It'd have to be definitely an Iron Maiden album.
Okay.
Which one, though?
That's tough.
I don't know. This is so hard. I mean, I like all these composers, too. Like, what genre are we talking about?
Oh, anything you want. So, I mean, like, it's good to get some variety if you have some different stuff you listen to.
Okay.
That's just me personally. You can go all
first Iron Maiden album.
Okay. The very, very first one?
Yeah, which is people are going to find odd, but I like Paul Di'Anno's.
Okay.
For some reason. Let's see. Number 2. Well, I like Schubert. Like, I would have to be a Schubert thing, like Death and the Maiden, that string quartet. So something with that on it.
Okay.
Let's see. This is so hard because I like so many kinds of music.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm the same. It's
I
a
have
tough
to leave
question.
Bach out of here. Like
You don't
the
have to.
master. I know, but like, what album do I consider perfect? I think I got to think about that, right?
Yeah, that's
Like, there
the
are certain
thing
albums that you consider to be perfect, you know?
that you can listen to start to finish over and over again.
Yeah. Oh, I know. King Crimson Red.
Nice. There you go.
I love that album, and that album like changed my life. Actually,
There you go. Perfect pick.
like the trajectory of. Have you ever heard that one?
Yeah, I've heard everything.
It's so dark and heavy.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic.
Like when
album.
I first heard it, I'm like, this isn't like Yes, you know?
Right.
Because
It's-
I thought I knew prog rock, and then I heard that, I'm like, wow, it can get dark, like,
Yeah,
and
everyone,
heavy, you know?
everyone considers "In the Court of the Crimson King" to be their best album, and it is fantastic.
It is great.
It
yeah,
is.
like
But-
Epitaph. That song like makes me cry every time.
Right, but I think like for me, I kind of think of King Crimson if you break their discography into two halves.
Right.
Like, "In the Court of the Crimson King" is their masterpiece in the first half of their career. Then Red kind of kicks
I
into the
agree.
second half as the perfect
Yeah.
album.
Because you need like Bill Bruford on drums, right? For
Hmm.
me,
Discipline's
And
great
even, like,
too.
it is great.
But
It's
Red-
different
Red's
kind of album too, because it's got Adrian Belew, right?
I think so.
Yeah, he sings on that.
Okay.
But yeah, they have like Frame by Frame is on that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that is good. But that was like even more like Beat. That album too is more modern kind of.
Yeah, that was the shift. Like Red was a departure, and then they
Red-
took things. a different
You know,
way.
on Red, there's a song that was recorded in Providence, Rhode Island.
Really?
The song called Providence. Yeah, it was
Oh,
recorded
okay.
live at the venue in Providence.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
isn't that
cool.
cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who else is a bit like that as well with their discography is Moody Blues. They've got
See, but I
like,
left. Yeah, I like Moody Blues. Yeah.
I do too. Yeah, it's just
Oh,
got
I
like,
left out Birds
Okay.
of Fire by Mahavishnu Orchestra. Shit.
that's your backup. That could be your bonus album.
All right, bonus. Yeah.
There you go. It's okay.
Yeah, what's your favorite Moody Blues album?
That's the thing. It's like they got some stuff that's different, but like Days of Future Past,
very different.
obviously, because it's
Right.
got.
Yeah,
know,
I like that one the best, I think.
But then you go to stuff like In Search of the Lost Chord and Every Good Boy Deserves Favor are both great as well.
True. Yeah, but I know what you're saying. Sort of different, very different sounding albums.
Yeah, different stages. Like any prog
Different
band.
band lineups and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, any prog band has that. It's like you're gonna have this stuff. I mean, Traffic's kind of the same. Traffic's got like, such different stuff. Like The Low Spark of High Heel Boys is my favorite album, but Mr. Fantasy is a masterpiece as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Good stuff. Now
Yeah.
I'm thinking of all the ones I missed, but there you go.
There
We'll
you
have to
go.
settle on that.
Right,
Yeah,
fans.
like can I have another backup?
Yeah, sure.
Gentle Giant, The Power and the Glory.
Oh, good choice. That's a great
I love
one.
that.
Oh,
yeah, I
okay.
like that album.
You'll appreciate this. I was at last thing before we finish, but it's Gentle Giant related, and
Okay.
Gentle Giant hasn't come up on the podcast. So I've never mentioned this before, but
Nice.
I was at a record store looking through like the old school like classic rock section, and they had a
Mhm.
Gentle Giant, and they had let me pull up the discography. I can't remember which album it was. 1 second. It was their first album, Gentle Giant, right?
Oh yeah, yep.
Right, but the album cover was Giant for a Day.
Oh,
And
weird.
I asked the dude, I was like, what's up with this? Like, this is like, I'm looking at the track listing, like, these are the songs from Gentle Giant. Why does it say Giant for a Day?
Yeah, isn't it one where the giant's holding them in his hand? Is that the one?
No, it's the one
Cover?
that's like blue with like the Giant's face on it, is all it is. And it says Giant
Oh,
for a
right.
Day.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
super late career, like 1978. It's not
Right,
very,
right, okay.
It's not very good. But the guy's like, oh yeah, it was like this weird misprint that they did.
Wow.
That they screwed up at the factory. And like, I didn't buy
Probably
it.
worth a lot of money, right? Yeah.
I didn't buy it. And I
Oh,
was
no.
like, why didn't I always think back, I'm like, why didn't I buy this? It's probably worth something. But it was really funny. It was just like one album in another album's like sleeve, but printed wrong. It was funny.
That's crazy. Yeah, that happens, I guess.
You said The Power and the Glory, right? Was your pick?
Yeah.
That one's great, and Octopus is fantastic.
Octopus is great too. Yeah.
Yeah, and the first.
Those are probably the first two albums I heard, actually.
Okay.
So they're kind of like sentimental too. But I love the darkest one is probably Acquiring the Taste.
Which one's that? Oh, the tongue. One with the tongue, right?
Yeah, I love that. It's super kind of dark, actually.
That's really good too. That's like
I really like that one.
That's like 71.
It's
like
all great. Yeah, it's early 70s.
That's the other thing about all these bands, man. Like, you know, you look at all these discographies and like, hey, it's okay, this one was 1970, and then there's like 7 between like 1970 and 1974 or something. Like all these classic prog bands and stoner bands,
super
and, like,
prolific.
Just they churned out like these masterpieces one after the other in like 6-month spans. Like Sabbath's the same. Like
I know.
Sabbath's first 2 albums came out in like the same year, and both of those are like considered like seminal.
Even like Miles Davis, like some of his stuff, like he recorded like 2 albums in one day once.
It's crazy.
Like 2 whole albums. Like, yeah, you know what I think it was too? A lot of these bands were all like super well rehearsred, you know?
Yeah, there's played
like
constantly.
Bands now are just like they're like manufactured, or they're not like they're recording. You know, they're not like playing as much. I don't think, you know, unless they're like a touring band. But
I think
all these bands were like well-oiled machines, you know.
I think it's because then if you were good, you could actually make money doing it compared to now. It was
true.
Like, true. But I mean,
don't you also think people are more like open-minded then, or something?
I don't think it's that. I think it's that stuff was so new and innovative that people like became latched onto it. It's like, you know what I mean? Like now
they're more like curious about it or something.
Yeah, I think now we're like
it's like we're just oversaturated now, right?
Oversaturated. It's like something cool comes in, like, yeah, that's kind of cool. If that had come along in the 70s, people are like, I've never heard anything like this, and they just blow up and become huge. Like,
yeah, because if you look at like who was on Woodstock, like it's like all different genres, you know?
Yeah,
and people were like into it.
Exactly.
Like if that happened now, like people would be like, "What the fuck? Like this doesn't belong together," you know?
I went to a festival like that up in Oregon where they had. Oh, go ahead, Brendan. Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say like Creedence Clearwater was the first band I think to sign up for Woodstock.
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
then there's like Santana, and then like Hendrix, like
right.
And there was some like R&B stuff, right? Like R&B and like folky kind of stuff. It was like
Creedence are another great band, but I feel bad the fact that they ended up like splitting up as a band, like basically broke.
I know, isn't that crazy? Because they got
screwed
the record contract or whatever.
Yeah,
sue the company for all the rights of his songs back to own his music.
Yeah. It took him forever to get his music back. What's his name?
I guess back then, like he had signed a contract to something that like
John Fogerty or whatever.
Yeah. That had
That's nuts, dude.
Basically they owned music that he hadn't even written yet.
Wow.
You know, it's
like
that can happen. Like if
rights.
you can. Yeah, it's nuts, dude.
Insane.
That happens to a lot of artists, you know.
It's crazy.
I mean, that even happened to like Taylor Swift, you know.
Yeah, she was smart. The way she went around it, though, she just re-recorded all of it herself.
She re-recorded it. Yeah, it was smart.
Hey, I'm re-releasing my entire discography, and her fans like, we'll buy it again. Like
exactly. Yeah, they buy anything, right?
Yeah, like she could like spit on a piece of paper and like they'd buy it.
I
like,
know.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Swifties are nuts.
She lives in Rhode Island.
Oh, really?
She has like a summer house in Rhode Island, of course.
Oh, she did like an album about that, I think. Like,
did she?
I think it's called. My wife's a massive Swiftie, so I know more than I'd like to.
Oh, she? Yeah.
But I think it's called like Folklore or something.
Oh yeah, that has to do with.
It's
Rhode
about
Island,
her like buying a old house out that way. It's
yeah, old house. It's like the super giant like
old mansion.
I don't know if is it old.
I don't know. It's like if the songs my wife plays them all the time are accurate, it's like from some rich like old American like
probably
old money dynasty or something.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah, I kind of know where her house is, but if I get a picture of her, I'll send it to you for your wife to see.
Yeah, dude, please. Yeah, she'd love that. Anyway, we'll come up on. We actually gone over time, but it's totally fine.
Can't believe we're ending on Taylor Swift, but
I know. I'm not going to end on Taylor Swift.
You know why it's not?
Edit that out of there. No.
It's okay. I'll put it in like the background stuff, like the keywords, so we'll get a bunch of Swifties listening. We'll blow up.
You're gonna make it like my desert island pick.
Yeah. Yep.
Haters gonna hate.
I'm just gonna edit this audio and say Taylor Swift 3 times.
Yeah, all 3 of Taylor Swift's albums are my Desert Island pick.
So a final
That's
question
awesome.
to cleanse the palate.
Okay.
If people want to listen to your music or buy your music or follow you on social media, where do they do that?
They can go to Yuggoth Records .bandcamp.com and they can hear all the music there. And I'm also on Instagram. I think it's just Yuggoth Records.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. We don't really have a website, so.
Awesome.
But yeah, the Bandcamp has everything.
It does. I can confirm.
And yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on. It's been a lot of fun chatting with you. Appreciate it.
Totally.
And if anyone listening at home, tune in next time. We'll have another guest for you.